Friends, talking about the wisdom, we will get the right wisdom from the masters. So before I get into the conversation with Sagar sir, we all know him, but still a little about him is he was born in Tamil Nadu. He did his basic education there and got his job in US, and love for the India. He came back to India, and then he says that he was brought up in the Bhakti family, and he being inspired to be in service is because of his father. So that is such a lovely thing that he got from his father. And he did his PhD in international business when he was working in USA. And his meditation practice started with transcendental meditation. And then for him, the questioning about the life and his inner journey started when one of his colleagues' wife had got diagnosed with cancer. That's when he started questioning, why is this happening? And he wanted to know a lot more about why is this happening to one person and not to other person. And his journey inward started with that questioning. And then Anapanasati meditation came to him through Chandra Sir. So he introduced Patri G, and Sagar Sir got introduced into PSSM. So he started volunteering for Pyramid Valley. He did a lot of volunteering for organizing a lot of programs. And then the first website for pssm.org was built by Sagar Sir and his wife Bindu ma'am. And he says that he got the best wisdom from Patriji while doing that website. Why, Patriji used to sit next to him and read out, and he used to dictate what needs to be there on the website. So he says those days were the best wisdom that he got from Patriji. And then in during COVID period is when Sagar Sir became the managing trustee. Before that, in 2019, he became the managing trustee of Pyramid Valley, where he organized a lot of in-person workshops. And because of COVID, he started the Zoom session, which was also the first thing that happened in PSSM. And through him, the digital platform of PSSM became so strong. Everybody started learning to come online, do sessions, and connect from wherever they were. So, with a lot of contribution in his service, now he's the CEO and the founder of Quantum Coherence Technology. And without an ado, let's start the conversation with Sagar sir. Hello, sir.
Hello, Prithvi. Namaste, and glad to be here. And I know it's a phenomenal effort by the WOW team or the Infinity team, right? It's great to be back here talking to and conversing with you, Prithvi.
Thank you, sir. So, without any delay, I want to just get into the subject. So, first thing that I want to start off with is your main subject is you have conducted a lot of 21 days program on Anapanasati meditation, and then your main workshop was on breath by breath. And recently you attended Vipassana, so where they made you meditate being with breath. So we see a lot of breath in your workshops and you being associated with it. So why is there so much of focus on breath in your work, sir?
Yeah, so we all started Anapanasati meditation with breath. All of us know that, right? And Patriji introduced us to meditation as just observing your breath. In fact, when you're mentioning about the website, one of the initial things that we used to write on the website was, what is meditation? Meditation is silencing the incessant chatter of the mind. And how do you do it? It's through observing your breath. All right. So I used to watch Patriji closely, and even at Pyramid Valley. So anyone comes to him with a problem, right? Someone has a relationship problem, someone comes to him with a health issue, or someone comes to him with a property issue or a job issue. And Patriji used to tell everyone the same answer: sit, close your eyes, observe your breath. Right? In some cases, he also used to play the flute for some of them. But then it was the same answer for everyone. And coming from a engineering and a science background, I also used to wonder, how come just being with the breath will solve all these problems? Right? That is where my curiosity with breath started. Though we've been practicing breath mindfulness meditation for quite a while, I went through a lot of experiences, how they teach breath meditation at monasteries, right? And quite a lot of books on breath meditation. And that's where there were quite a few books called, like, for example, Science of Breath by Swami Rama. It was published way back in 1979. And then there is another book by James Nestor. It's on breath. And then I read another book by conscious breathing. Right. So as you continue to read those kind of books, you understand the value, understand the science behind breathing. And generally, this is how we start off the breath by breath program, right? And there's a very deep connection between breath, your body, and your mind, right? So breath, as we all know, conditions the body. This is all the doctors, all the material scientists out there talk about it, right? I mean, depending on how well you breathe, how well your lungs function, the body gets supplied with the right amount of oxygen, right? And we also know on the other side, like psychologists probably talk about, is anytime we feel a sense of fear, a sense of anxiety, our breath changes. And anytime we feel calm, right? So when you feel anxiety, when you feel fear, our breath, the rate of breathing increases. And then our breath becomes shallow, right? And then anytime we feel a sense of calm, meeting someone, a friend, or just watching a wonderful sunset or listening to wonderful music, like we just heard, the body gets into a calmer state and the breath becomes very deep, very smooth, very silent, right? So there is an influence of mind on breath, and there is an influence of breath on the body, right? And Swami Rama talks about this, and then I'm sure Buddha also found this by different experimentation. So through our breath, we manage to control our mind, right? And that's why Patriji always keeps saying, be a master. When you say be a master of your emotions, be a master of your thoughts, be a master of your physiology, right? And how do you be a master of all that? Is just by using the breath. And all of us know Patriji keeps about your breath is your guru. And that's what we cover in our breath by breath sessions, right? How is breath a guru? Breath teaches you to get your body into the parasympathetic state just by observing breath. Again, another wonderful research. I'm sure some of you might have heard about the relaxation response, the book by Herbert Benson. He talks about you don't need to alter your breath, right? Just observing your breath activates our parasympathetic nervous system. It allows a lot of relaxation and healing. And we also know just by being with the breath, our mind becomes calmer, becomes calmer, becomes calmer, right? And as I kept reading about the breath, and then I also wanted to explore very deeply into the Anapanasati Sutras. Anapanasati Sutras are a bunch of text, very 16 sutras that Buddha talks about in his Anapanasati Sutta, about how mindfulness of breathing leads you into a lot of different things. And it's organized into 4 stanzas. It talks about mindfulness of breathing, mindfulness of the body, right? Because the breath, mindfulness of the body. And then as you continue to feel the sensations, which is what Vipassana focuses on, as you continue to feel the sensations in your body, as you continue to feel the blockages in the different parts of your body, as you continue to feel the feelings, and slowly you start becoming more mindful of your feelings, right? That's mindfulness of feelings. And then as you continue to feel, become more aware of your feelings, you start becoming more aware of the thoughts that trigger the feeling, or thoughts or the beliefs that or the emotions that trigger those feelings. So mindfulness of thoughts. And once you completely become aware of all these, and then Buddha says how you learn a lot of things from the breath. Okay? No 2 breaths are the same, right? So the temporariness of the breath relates to temporariness of everything, all phenomena in life. So the impermanence of breath, the varying nature of the breath, the cessation and rising of the breath. So, and he leads us to realizing the truths. Whatever is true with the breath is also true with life. Life is not, I mean, the impermanence of life, impermanence of feelings, impermanence of sorrow as well as happiness. Everything you learn from the breath. And that is why very aptly breath is our guru, like Patriji keeps saying. And we learned a lot of things from the breath. And of late, a lot of my study has been on the effect of emotions on our physiology, and a lot of literature around it, how our hormones get regulated, how our peptides get regulated, a lot of books, and everywhere you see the importance of breath. So, and my only thing, the reason I'm so interested in breath and talk about breath work and meditation is, for us, meditation and breath is all aligned, right? They're not really two activities. So we start with a little bit of breath work and then get into meditation, and that's how things are. And then just by being with our breath, a lot of things can happen. Healing happens, relaxation happens, right? And then awareness increases, mindfulness increases. And then through that, we get a lot of mental clarity. The once the mind chatter stops, the mental clarity happens. And then through the mental clarity, we are able to sense, feel, trust our intuitions. A lot of things happen just by the tool of breath. And it's such a underrated and not widely known tool, which is why I'm so interested and practice breath work, practice mindfulness meditation. And that's what I teach. Now that I know the science of it, it all makes logical sense why Patri sir used to make everyone sit and just observe the breath to let their problems go away.
Sir, you were talking about breath being connected to mind and the body as well, right? Right from the day we are born, the first thing that we take in is breath, and the last thing while leaving the body is we leave is breath. So, witnessing the breath, as you were saying, observing the breath can transform our life means. Does breath know anything beyond mind and body, sir?
So the breath doesn't know anything beyond the mind and body. Breath is prana, obviously, right? So breath is a manifestation of prana. Breath is not equal to prana, right? Prana is a life force. The way our body feels prana is through the breath, right? And as we are with the breath, right? And as we are with the breath, I mean, we all know we are this whole nervous system, right? We have the chakras and the nadis, right? The prana flows. So there is a system, there is an energy system in each one of us, which has blockages due to karmic patterns, due to the past karmic patterns, past blockages, the impressions, samskaras, and all that. So using the breath, the moment we focus awareness on our breath, moment we focus attention on our breath, our body starts to heal, right? That's the modern science talks about the parasympathetic nervous system. The What do we mean by healing? Healing is basically bringing the body to its usual original healthy state, which we talk about as homeostasis, right? So the moment your body, and then we all know we are all divine beings, we can heal ourselves, we can do everything ourselves. We don't need anything. That we have the intelligence. Our body has the intelligence to grow, build itself, respond to invaders in terms of diseases, right? So everything. So we are restoring the body to its natural intelligence. That's all, right? So we are being with our breath brings our body into our homeostasis, and the moment our body becomes aligned or coherent with its own intelligence, the blockages in our nadi system starts getting removed, right? And that is where we talk about. That is where if you talk about the karmic patterns, our nervous system knows those patterns that we identify, the reason, the blockages, right? So the blockages get cleared. So that is where the past impressions get cleared, right? And the breath, in my view, right, the breath or prana doesn't know our past and future, but it helps us clearing up the past, right? And then ultimately realizing the soul energy, right? So the soul energy knows what we are here for, right? And what happens is when we are not when we are not conscious of our breathing, when you're not in a mindful state, when we are not in an aware state, our mind is on a trip. We forget who we are, and there's a lot of spiritual texts talk about, right? Who we are is what our soul knows. Whole soul knows why we are here, what are our past lessons that we need to get cleared off. So all those things is what the soul, but the way we get to that is by calming our mind, right? By clearing our mind. The way we clear our mind is through being with our breath. So there's a huge connection by being with our breath, clearing our blockages, allowing our mind to rest in its highest consciousness level, which is a soul consciousness level, and also allowing our body to be in homeostasis.
When you say when we are with the breath, we start calming down. and also the blockages starts getting cleared out. But most of the times we see that when we are with the breath, a lot of limiting beliefs that we have been carrying in our subconscious mind and the emotions that you were talking about starts coming out, the unpleasant memories, cellular memories which is stored in the body, they start coming up, they start showing up. So, not really being with the breath is a very pleasant experience, is what I feel. So, what do you say about that, sir?
Yes, absolutely. I think we've seen that with a lot of us, right? A lot of us in initial stages of meditation, right? Breath meditation. So as our mind calms down, all those unpleasant memories, unpleasant emotions start bubbling up, right? As they bubble up, those repressed emotions, those suppressed emotions that we were not able to express, the trauma that our body has felt because of repeated stressful events. It could be as simple as dealing with a unhelpful or a difficult boss, right? Over time, the body has accumulated that stress dealing with him or her every day, right? Or it could be another person, or it could be a job that you don't like, anything. So all the body has accumulated all those. As we continue to observe our breath, as our mind calms down, those emotions, those cellular imprints start freeing up, right? And that show up as a lot of people cry. It could be pain at different points of time, points of the body, or it could be things like stress, sweat, a burning sensation, a cold sensation, or just tears, right? I mean, sometimes, and I've seen it, I've known it personally, and I also seen sometimes people remember a strange incident that happened in their childhood, and they don't even know why, right? And then they're asking, I got this memory, why did I get this, right? So all those are suppressed in our psyche. And then as we continue to a breath, as our awareness level increases, as the level of consciousness increases, all those cleanse up. And that's the beauty of breath mindfulness meditation. Again, I take about one of my favorite books, Mind Illuminated by Kuladasa. It's a very big book. It completely talks about the different stages of anapanasati meditation, the science behind it. Right? It talks about how things cleanse up. There are different stages. He talks about 10 stages and how the mind gets cleansed up. How I mean, we all know, Patriji talks about it, our karma, the law of karma, whatever our karmic balance gets cleared up. But how does it happen? Like you mentioned, right? So as the mind calms down slowly, one of those suppressed things, what to say, dissipate, right? They evaporate. I mean, I can visualize it like a boiling water, the way the bubbles come up, right? They come up and then evaporate. And slowly, as our psyche becomes lighter, right? And then as the blackness or the darkness that we carry become reduced, slowly the illuminance of our inner soul, inner divinity starts showing up, right? And that's the science behind whatever spiritual wisdom that we've learned. And once we do that, it's life is a magic, right? And then intuitions happen, things that you wanted automatically happen. In fact, I used to tell Patri G about 2 or 3 incidents and say, "Sir, this happened like a magic. This seems to be magic, right? It was miraculous." Patri G used just to look at me and smile. And then later I came to know, I mean, obviously, because of a lot of other wisdom and masters, that I came to know life is supposed to be that way, right? Life is supposed to be magical. Life is supposed to be miraculous. We're all, because Patriji says we're all gods. We're able to create the wonderful things that we need to do. Unfortunately, our conditioning, our education and social upbringing, right, has kind of created those blockages, which thankfully all of us are on this path, and we will all look forward to enjoy every moment creating. And like, we're all co-creators. We create our life ourselves.
Right, sir. So, sir, now that you talked about the right practice, while being in the right practice, it is not very pleasant. So, when we are spreading the word of meditation, teaching the meditation, having a good practice about it, having right knowledge about it, and being having a strong base in it, and then going for practice is one kind of thing. Whereas in PSSM, we see that people get to learn to meditate. After getting to know a little about meditation, they're encouraged to spread the meditation. So, what do you think is right? Should we have the right practice, be a sadhak, right understanding about meditation and then spread it, or we have to just keep spreading as we get to learn?
Good question. I think I would look at it as two levels, right? So one is, yeah, once I start practicing meditation, the way I spread meditation is I can invite my friends to join a class, right? I can organize a group meditation in my class. So that's what I mean by spreading meditation. I can help organize events, say at Pyramid Valley or other places, right? Because now I'm experiencing the benefits of meditation. I want more people to practice meditation, right? I've read a few books about meditation. I want more people to practice meditation. That to me is spreading meditation, right? To me, spreading meditation is different from teaching meditation. All right. So teaching meditation, yes, I can always put up those 4 or 5 statements, clasp your hands, cross your feet, close your eyes. Now we all know that by heart, and then say, because there's nothing more to teach, right? Like Patriji says, just observe your breath, right? But as a teacher, when I talk about a teacher, like you mentioned, a lot of things happen once people start observing their breath. I should be in a position to answer those questions, right? I should be in a position to, hey, now someone is saying just by attending 21-day meditation program, they got rid of medication for diabetes, right? How does it happen? Someone comes and asks me a question, I should be able to answer that, right? And someone got rid of something else, or someone said I manifested. How does it happen? So I should understand the science and the foundation of it. So I think for me to become, even for personally for me, right? I kind of struggled with my mindfulness meditation for close to 10 years, right? Though I kept attending meditation classes, yeah, whenever Patri comes to Bangalore, I used to practice meditation every day. I did see benefits. I mean, if you look at my experience story from last year's episode, right? I did experience the benefits of meditation during my corporate life, but I couldn't explain how and what, right? And only after I read that book, I understood things, and then I experimented with a lot of. For me, the biggest problem was calming the mind. So Patriji used to play flute 1 hour, sit in a group meditation. Out of that 60 minutes, probably 58 and a half minutes, I was besieged by thoughts, right? My mind used to wander, going back, and okay, 1 or 2 minutes was kind of okay. But then, like I used to ask Patriji, and then all the experiences, people come up with colorful, wonderful experiences I never used to have. I asked Patriji, what is this? I mean, they said nothing, no experiences need to happen. And as you continue to practice, you will get rid of all those things, right? All the thoughts. And to me, my breath by breath programs are basically an effort in how do I, if someone comes to me with the same question, I've been practicing meditation, but 75% of the time I'm not able to manage my thoughts. You don't need to manage the thought, but I'm always getting thoughts, right? How do I? So I did a lot of experimentation, especially with the Pyramid Valley classes and all that, and read a lot of books on Buddhist. That's where if you look at it, we talk about equal breathing. There are some techniques that we use to get your mind to a calmer state, right? And then begin meditation, right? And there are a lot of insights that we got. We talk about when we talk about meditation, and only after that I started teaching meditation, right? So in fact, some of my first classes was when I was in London, when Patriji was there. That is when all this book thing happened. And London is when I took my first class based on that book, Mind Illuminator. And then after coming back to Pyramid Valley, and thanks to COVID, we started doing a lot of online sessions, and then the stillness retreats and a lot of other workshops happened. So that's to me is the difference. And I know other people might differ. So practice is engaging and building the community of practitioners, right? But teaching is obviously, to become a teacher, you'll have to experience meditation and also the science, the right way of telling people, because I don't want to misguide people with something someone else told me, right? I want to really experiment, understand this is how it works. Coming from a logical mind background, that's what I would want to do. So that's the difference to me.
Wonderful, sir. So you talked about being a volunteer in the last episode. You volunteered for Pyramid Valley or in organizing a lot of programs for about most 10 years or so. And then you became a managing trustee where you took a lead role in, coming up with your own initiatives. So in spiritual service, what did actually make you come into this lead role? And is there a difference between being a volunteer and a leader?
Difference between being a volunteer and a leader. Good question. So if you look at volunteer, right, the way we use the way you use volunteer, using it more as a noun, right? That's a role. So volunteer as a role and a leader as a role. I'll talk about the difference. Having said that, you can also volunteer as a verb, volunteering. So most of my leadership role at as a managing trustee was also I was volunteering. Volunteering is in service, right? I'm not getting remuneration or not seeking benefits out there. So that's a volunteering aspect, right? When you're volunteering, you can be a worker or a volunteer, you can be a leader, right? So yes, obviously, I mean, when you are a volunteer in the terms of doing service, there are certain rules. There are people, some people tell you to do something, and we are expected to do that. So that's about volunteer, right? And that is where I think my family background, my dad, when he used to do seva at this organization, so that is the letting go of the ego part, right? When you're volunteering, I mean, I want to use the more holistic word of seva. When you're doing that seva, right? So wholesome, or what do you say, that nishkam seva, or what karma, right? So basically, it's about seva without benefits, right? So when you're doing that seva, you're expected to do anything that you are told to do. In fact, that is what we talk about when when our volunteers assemble for large events at Pyramid Valley or elsewhere, right? So irrespective of whatever, you might be a CEO out there, you might be a teacher out there, you might be a dad or a grandfather out there, or you could be a student, right? So once you come in, you commit for volunteering, commit for seva, you're supposed to do what you're doing, be it putting the beds, be it cleaning some stuff, or be it helping things at the stage, right? Or helping things at Annadana, could be anything, right? So to me, volunteer is that seva attitude should be there. The attitude is totally different. Attitude of acceptance, attitude of non-complaining, right? Attitude of letting go of the ego, right? And obviously, when a leader is volunteering, when as a leader, all these are included, but then I also need to take some decisions, right? When I take some decision as a leader, I need to tell people this is the right way to do, or this is what we need to do. So coming up with new programs, even there, we do it in the spirit of seva, right? So you do it for others, right? It's whereas in my corporate role, I might do it to get a promotion. I might take some decisions that probably help my department. Again, a little bit of service, but it's not about service with no benefits, right? But as a leader at a non-profit organization, when I'm volunteering, or as a managing trustee, or taking up any role there, it's about taking those decisions in the interest of all. In fact, right now we're in the midst of deciding and planning for our annual Buddha Purnima celebration, right? The utmost in my mind, and several of our organizing team members, is how do I provide the best experience to thousands of people who are going to visit Pyramid Valley, right? It is not about how do I make my name visible to everybody, saying that this person has led it or whatever, right? So that's the difference. So volunteer is more about following orders, doing whatever is needed. A leader is more about making those decisions in the interest of the organization, the movement, or the team, right? And then leadership as a volunteering effort imbibes both. There's a seva element that allows you to be in the service of others rather than in service of yourself.
Wonderful, sir. Yes. So now, actually, while you were volunteering and while you were leading, you have seen Patriji very closely. So, what are the very main qualities of Patriji that you admire and you want to implement, and which are the qualities which is difficult to implement from him?
Good question. The difficult to implement for us at this time is obviously being equanimous to everything that happens, right? And that equanimity, something happens or something doesn't happen, though we're all getting there through our practice, right? So, I mean, if you look at it, I'm a lot more peaceful of certain things that happen or don't happen at Pyramid Valley, or in my organization or at home. I'm more open to accepting things now compared to I was 10 years ago, right? But we are not in that state where I've seen Patriji be, right? And then I've seen him the way, uh, one of the qualities, in fact, I in fact I wrote up some time ago on how Patriji embodies the wholesome leader, right? The way he envisioned the PMC coming up. So as a leader, obviously, there is a attitude or the way of behavior, as well as a leader, there is something where you envision things for the moment, right? And in fact, the way he envisioned the whole PMC before COVID, right? It's way beyond time, way earlier than that, but it was in preparation for something that's coming up. So that foreseeing things that might happen is another quality of a leader. It comes from expertise and also intuition, right? So the first part of your question, yes, to me, I learned mostly by observing Patriji. Right, to me, Patriji was a visual lesson. Than he didn't tell me much, though I've always loved to hear more of his instructions to me, saying that, hey, I do this or do that, or don't do this, don't do that. He never guided me or he never mentored me through words. But most of my learning has been by observing him, thanks to some of us, we were all in Pyramid Valley during the second lockdown time. That was my closest encounter or closest being with Patriji. So one is definitely the way he dealt with people. The way he dealt with people, irrespective of whoever you are, his dealings, his interaction with them was the same, right? That, I mean, that love, the compassion, what we read a lot about Buddha being that epitome of love and compassion, and then right, and a lot of other spiritual masters. To me, that was it, and the way he treats everyone, right from the employee at Pyramid Valley who cleans dishes in Anadana to a visitor who probably is a crorepati or a multimillionaire in India or elsewhere, right? He treats the same respect, same behavior, and same interaction, right? So that's one of the big qualities. The second thing is equanimity. Whatever happens, I mean, though he made us do a lot of those big time events, big ticket events, and though he says, let's do it this way, if something doesn't happen a certain way, he never questioned, right? And then he never questions why did this not happen, which we are used to doing it even to our kids. So why did this not happen? I told you to do this. He never used to do that, and then I'm assuming there was an implicit understanding of this is how things are, or telling that okay, I've told them they're doing their best, right? They're giving that freedom to each one of us. So I know they are doing their best, and this is the best they could do at this time. With that an understanding of it, right? So that is one, and then. Another big thing is being a living example of the wisdom he preaches, right? That's very difficult. I mean, very, very difficult to see among teachers nowadays, right? Both spiritual and non-spiritual. So they may be very good in knowledge, they may be very good in wisdom. They'll probably be giving wonderful sermons with lovely examples, great storytelling techniques, great way of engaging audience. But the moment it happens applying it to their lives or following it to their lives or their kids or their family, right? Patriji was a living example who kind of practiced, like they say, right? Leadership should be more about example rather than preaching. So that's another thing. So you can see him practicing everything. At any point of time, you can ask him, why did you do that? He'll have an answer, though none of us asked him, right? So he knows. I mean, that's his awareness. And then his consistent, what to say, deep confidence, deep trust, deep passion in the subjects that he teaches and preaches, right? Which is meditation, vegetarianism, and spiritual science, right? And the science of spirituality, not the esotericism of spirituality, right? So science of spirituality. So he always everywhere. I mean, you look at thousands of his speeches everywhere. Same message about meditation, no confusion. Same message about vegetarianism, no confusion. Same message about science of spirituality and how one should live, right? And those were some of the qualities I think we all need to imbibe. And to us, again, he's again provided a pathway, and those are all our innate soul qualities. The moment we let go of our baggage, we all become like Patriji. We all become the God, the divinity that he talks about, right? So we can get there just practicing what he teaches. That's it.
Beautiful, sir. So you have been actively working for being a convener for Global Congress of Meditation Leader. where recently it happened in February, where a vice president attended it and all. So where do you see, how do you see yourself, being there, and uh, how do you see that it is being aligned to your mission? So what is your mission in life?
Good question. What is my mission in life? My mission in life is, as I see now, is help people know what I know and what they don't know. Right? So the lot of this wisdom that I've learned in terms of, we spoke about the breath, the meditation, the body, the mind, right? And how we create our own illnesses. So those are the things, and a lot of people know, we don't know. When you see people suffering, I mean, this is like the new age suffering that Buddha talked about, right? So suffering out of ignorance. And that is the whole motive. And I always keep mentioning that, right? The reason we started the company, and I'm passionate about spreading meditation or teaching meditation was, as I keep saying, right? There was the instance where in my organization, one of my team members vanished for a few days, and later I came to know he was just 27 years old, diagnosed with diabetes, right? And then on the other hand, you see those wonderful healing stories from PSSM, right? People getting healed of diabetes, people getting healed of hypertension, people getting healed of cancer just by practice of meditation, right? So there is this asymmetry of information, asymmetry of knowledge, right? So my mission is to kind of see how I can bridge this asymmetry. Right? That is all. Could be through technology, could be through teachings, could be through practice, could be through spreading meditation, whatever be it. But that's where I feel that's where my mission is. How it happens, I just leave it to however it happens, where whatever role I am in. For example, Global Congress, again, it was more a mission, more a, what to say, the agenda of that was to make sure the governments, the government agencies, the bureaucrats also kind of prescribe meditation. Right? Today, one of the big constituents that who need to know about the benefits of meditation is our medical fraternity, right? Our doctors. So they should know. I mean, I see a lot of things changing. So a lot of doctors are prescribing, and you also do meditation, right? So we want more of that to happen. So the global conference was more a voice into the ears of the government, talking about the practice of meditation, how it helps, and we covered a lot of those sessions. And this time, we also brought together several spiritual leaders, like Patriji used to do, the leaders of other spiritual organizations as well, with the common purpose of practicing meditation. And thankfully, since the first global conference, and now all of us know there is this December 21st being declared as a World Meditation Day. So that helps improve awareness of meditation. And now we want to do a lot more with the government talking about meditation, or schools and hospitals, everyone talking about the benefits of meditation. So today, I think there's a lot of information on the web, thanks to all the AI chatbots, right? So anyone can find out the science behind meditation, the benefits of meditation, the practice of meditation, everything. It's about doing that practice, which is where we are all, I think, involved in making sure people do the practice right.
So you hit the right point that technology, the AI has come, and technology is growing. Even spirituality, the spread of spirituality is also growing. So how do you see the technology helping spirituality grow and ascend this planet Earth? So
Yeah, so use of technology in spirituality, I mean, we've seen within PSSM use of Zoom, use of PMC, right? And then use of apps. Now, most of us have apps as well to meditate, right? And I see the use of AI and technology, which is where one of the projects that we are working on at a company is, there's all this knowledge from multiple books, as I said, right? So people are not aware of how things work, and how, for example, why are they feeling this particular emotion, or why is the physical body having this particular pain, right? Connecting the dots, right? Connecting the dots to science, connecting the dots to their earlier patterns and behavior. It deals with a lot of data, a lot of information, right? And that data and that information varies person to person, right? So I would imbibe data more verbally. Someone else might learn more visually. Somebody else might learn purely because they get inspired from someone, right? There are different modes. because there is the plurality of people, minds, the way they learn is totally different. And that is where technology helps, right? When I'm doing an AI chatbot or when I'm doing AI, right, languages, right? I mean, in India, we have like umpteen number of languages and across the world. So that's where use of AI, use of technology helps, conveying messages, the same message easily in multiple languages, ensuring it reaches to a wider set of population on their mobile devices, helping clarify things, right? I mean, you don't need one particular master to go talk to a million people to clarify a message, right? And that is where all this AI chatbot absorbs that information, conveys it the right way. I mean, though there are risks. I mean, just like you can have any type of teacher, you can have any type of chatbot, right? And whether the chatbot is providing the right kind of information is where we'll have to take care. So AI definitely, especially from a PSSM perspective, because we are meditators and teachers in multiple languages, and there's a lot more to do, making meditation reach millions of people. So AI and technology, the play of AI technology is very significant, and all of us can make use of it. And now there are a lot of AI tools, for example, even for marketing, right? So, and then my company uses a whole suite of marketing AI tools for marketing. You don't even need to write a LinkedIn post. You don't need to write a Facebook post, right? Or even a blog article. So you type in some prompts and then it generates what you need. And it's amazing. And then you have AI out. That's a lot of, so technology is definitely a good enabler for us in all our mission of spreading the science of meditation to millions of people across the world.
Right, sir. And sir, since 2 decades, you have been associated with Pyramid Valley, and you know how it got manifested, how it is managed, and how it is working. So, what is your suggestion to the upcoming Mega Pyramid project for Omega Pyramid, sir?
Yes, so I can see Sri Hari sir there. So congratulations and all the best to the Omega Pyramid team, right? And it is a big project. Uh, Setting up a pyramid meditation center in Dallas in the US, and setting up a pyramid meditation center anywhere is definitely a big project, right? You want to do it at your home, dedicate a room, and get people to do it. It's always a big project, and doing that at scale in a place, in a different place, right, geographically, as well as involving hundreds of people is a totally different project, right? So again, one of the big things, one of the big successes I think we've seen at Pyramid Valley is the team, right? The team needs to be coherent. And we all know the only goal was to get the pyramid up and making sure people coming in have a wonderful experience, right? So people need to set aside their individual differences. There could be multiple pyramids, there could be multiple teams involved in it. But the goal of the entire team, all the people involved should be just one. I want to see 500 meditators every day come into Omega Pyramid, meditate, and feel the transformation, right? So that is all. That is the only thing. And then automatically things will fall into place, right? It's not about how much money are we going to get, how much resources are we going to get, how do we overcome these hurdles, right? And there are umpteen number of books. Our vision is focused on that. When we continue to manifest, continue to think about that every day, things automatically happen. There's nothing else we need to do. Things automatically happen. And then as you might have heard from Chandra and a lot of other trustees and a lot of other patrons, other donors who've been involved in the Pyramid Valley project, things have been magical, right? So suddenly one day there's not enough funds, and within 2 days funds manifest to some form, right? And suddenly the ideas that shaped the whole pyramid, the mega pyramid, the designs on the mega pyramid, the ideas that came again, though it came up with a few from a few individuals, the entire team was okay with it, right? So because all of us don't have any dearth of ideas, right? Everyone want our ideas to be implemented and we be known for it. But that letting go of things, okay, that also works. This also works. There's nothing like right or wrong. It's a question of letting go. So to me, the biggest success factor is having a coherent team. We all know we have a vision, but the team should believe in it and then just pursue that, irrespective of whatever be the hurdles. And then just accepting and letting go, right? And again, things will not go as per plan, right? So we've seen in corporates, we've seen in our life, right? It's about going with the flow. It's about going with the flow. Things will happen. Having said that, it's not that you don't have a plan. I do have a milestone. You need to have milestones, right? So in 3 months from now, I know Sriya sir was saying by August they want to finish something, right? That strong conviction about that goal, wanting that goal to happen, strong desire, and then thinking about how meditators will come and benefit from there is that conviction is that plan or milestone is needed, and we work towards it. We take the steps. We take the steps. Sometimes the steps might be different, right? Then automatically we get shown a different path to the same goal, right? It's a wonderful experience. And then for all the people who are listening to it or will listen to this, please do join in this mission or join in this game. I would say it's a game, right? We learn a lot from the game. It's entertaining, right? You learn a lot from this as well. So just jump in and do whatever is needed there. It will benefit. I mean, we've seen it. People who have been involved in the Pyramid Valley project, all our lives got transformed, right? Not directly because of the project, because the learnings we had from the project, because of, I mean, a lot of times, I mean, I used to spend the weekends in Pyramid Valley organizing those programs or organizing those conferences. That is all. That was good enough. Rest of the time, we're all busy, going at 7 o'clock, coming back at 9 p.m., right? So, but the involvement in that particular mission, the energies that you give, the energies that you get, helps you, helps the people around you, helps your parents. Even they could be totally disconnected with the project, but just us being involved in that flow of consciousness and flow of elevating energy automatically impacts people around us. And to me, I'm always grateful for my involvement there. And I've seen what to say, unimagined success in my corporate world, unimagined abundance in wealth, right? As well as health, both health of my parents, my family, right? It is not bad. It's not as bad as some of them out there have. Every time you feel that, you feel grateful for it, right? I'm not saying it's all because of that, but somehow, I mean, obviously, when you're engaged in that particular mission, automatically you let go of negative thoughts. You let go of naming things, right? You let go of those stuff. You are totally busy with this, and that there is sense of coherence that comes in, right? Both in collective energies between our own physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual energies. So it's a yajna, right? So all of us need to participate in that yajna. And I see the Omega Pyramid as another opportunity for thousands and millions of people to participate in that yajna and what is it, progress themselves, transform themselves. And I really thank the entire team, the set of people who took the decision to start this project, the set of people who took those initial steps in getting the land and doing all the initial work. So you are paving the way for thousands of people to get involved in this yajna, right? And then through this program, I'm glad to have been associated in that yajna as well, right? I'm sure we're all connected either way through Pyramid Valley, but then I'm very happy for having this opportunity to be working or helping in that yajna of building that Omega Pyramid. To all of you, congratulations and all the best. You are on a wonderful path, right? It might be a path with some thorns and stones, but nevertheless, the result that you're going to give to thousands and millions of people is wonderful flowers. So be on it and enjoy the journey. Thank you.
When you were saying about the life is actually have should be in the form of magical, but we put our mind into that and calculations into that, and we put our belief systems into that, we mess up. So as part of that belief system, we also have this kind of belief where when we teach meditation to others, people think that, especially for youngsters, when we teach meditation, they feel that why at this moment. So it is something have people have this notion that meditation is something that has to happen at the later stages of age. So why this age bifurcation has come only for this meditation? So it was not there for any other practices. So when this is being strongly inculcated into the minds of certain people, how can we make them realize that importance of it?
Correct. See, that's what, right? I mean, generally we all associate, or everyone associates meditation to spirituality, right? And then there is this general notion that spirituality, the time for spirituality is after you retire or maybe after 50 years, right? So that is how it has been. And that is what we are trying to do with what we are doing with the corporates, right? Corporates and Buddha CEO and then the GCML conference. So when we go to corporates, we talk to the CEOs, and even the CEO says, "Yeah, I am practicing meditation, but I am doing it more from a spiritual growth, right?" And they don't understand it also helps in our everyday life, right? See, as a student, it helps me in clarity of mind, memory, and things like that, concentration. All of us need concentration, right? And as a professional, it helps me focus. So all these attributes of meditation was not taught earlier. Everything was about whatever, cleansing your karma, right? Going, I mean, talking about what is not no rebirth later. That's how it was talked about. So this the association of meditation with spirituality is what is being there in all our minds, all youngsters as well, right? And all of us know. Even I keep telling my dad, it would have been wonderful if my parents told me about meditation when I was 25 or 30 years, right? Or at least 20 years. So we all know that. And everyone, I mean, there are like tons of people who I came across, they talk about the same thing. Wish I knew this earlier, right? But obviously there is a reason why, maybe there is a reason why we came to know about later. So your question is, yes, there are going to be people. Why now? Not just about youngsters, even elders in corporates and even doctors. Why I'm leading a perfectly happy life. I'm doing this. Why meditation is only after I retire, only for my spiritual growth. So yes, that is where all the PSSM masters who are doing the whole inspirational talks. I mean, you know that I've seen you talk several times as well. So inspiring people on saying that a meditation is necessary now. It's not about your next janma. It's not about your last part of your life, right? It's something that helps you now, today, at this moment. Talking about it, inspiring people, and talking about the science of it will definitely help.
How do we distinguish between soul happiness versus happiness that we mind and body happiness? And then how do we leverage the mindful breathing to attain to that state where you make your soul happy uh, versus making your mind or body happy?
Mindful breathing. All right. So good question. Thank you, Puna sir. Appreciate your words. I know being in Dallas, you're also associated with the yajna that you're all involved in. So good opportunity, and then all the best. Yeah, so your question about, I think psychologists talk about hedonic happiness. Hedonic happiness is the joy that I get when someone, what to say, someone praises me, or the ice cream that I have, or the wonderful car I got, right? That's called hedonic happiness, which is usually temporary lived, right? All of us have seen that, right? We aspire for that job, aspire for the place, or aspire for the car. And once you get there, within 2 days, it's all emptiness, right? So that's what I mean. I assume you're referring to as the body or mind happiness, right? And anything that is lasting, right, which is what you're referring to as the soul happiness, or the other word is more about fulfillment, right? So happiness is yeah, everything gives you joy. So you use a word of joy or fulfillment for more the soul happiness. And when the soul doesn't feel fulfilled, that is where it automatically takes you down the path, right, where you need to be, where you need to go to give your soul that happiness or the fulfillment, right? I mean, unless you're preoccupied by mind, right? Now, how do I know this? Right? So that is where, if you look at all the books on mindfulness, mindfulness for me is another level of awareness, right? So we do the simple practice of mindful eating. Some of you know in our retreats, right? So mindful eating is completely aware of your eating with all your five senses, right? And then only focus attention. So attention on the food and eating with all your five senses, right? You're completely absorbed in it. And when you are doing it, automatically, and then I've seen everyone tell that, and then you'll also feel that, is that automatically you stop when your body says stop, right? So you'll not eat more food, right? Usually because we eat additional food, we have the last serving that actually gives us all the trouble later because the mind is telling you, right? But then mindful eating is that aspect, right? So you know, because you're completely focused, your body is giving you signals, your mind is giving you signals, right? And same thing, what the mind or body calls happiness is again because of the interpretation of our mind, right? Which is what Buddha said leads to suffering, right? At some point of time, they're all temporary, right? It comes up and goes on. Whatever mind or body happiness is all temporary, right? So what mindful breathing or mindfulness meditation is, increases the level of awareness, right? And we all have been learning awareness along with wisdom. So we know what is true, we know what is false, we know what is temporary, we know what is impermanent, we know what is permanent, right? So it allows us to decipher this mindfulness, or the mindful breathing allows you to gives you that gap between what we say as the trigger and the response, right? And that is where we stop, right? And that itself allows you to feel, okay, this is what I need. This is something I don't want, right? And sometimes we strive after certain things that we think will provide us happiness. And at the end, we may not, right? Just because of us being in that mindful state, we know, oh, I went after that. We're able to reflect. I went after that, but that was not the thing that really that was really valuable for me, right? So then we learn the lesson of let go. If I was not mindful, right, I would have gone through all that. Oh my God, okay, that was not enough. Maybe something else was more. Something else was more. Something else was more. We keep on chasing things, right? So that ability to discern between what is really causing me happiness and what is not, what is a temporary happiness, allows comes through a higher level of consciousness, higher level of awareness, which mindful breathing or mindfulness meditation helps us to do, right? So that's the tool. In fact, I keep talking about this. To us, the sitting part of it, sitting meditation, mindful meditation that we are doing, whatever, half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours every day, is to me the net practice. It's a net practice for me to go and play the game of life more mindfully, more aware. When we practice mindfulness, we learn the skill of mindfulness in this 2 hours or 3 hours, so that I'm able to use the skill of mindfulness in everything that I do, right? In my eating, in my interacting with people, in my teamwork, in my volunteering, whatever it is. That's how it has helped me. That's my view.